Ever feel like you're constantly battling with voices in your head? One says it's not going to work out, while the other says, no, it will, just wait. That inner tug-of-war can be exhausting, especially when it's about something important, whether it's a work decision or a personal relationship. We all have those moments when our minds are overwhelmed and we just want to know what the right answer is. But what if the real answer lies not in choosing a side, but in finding a place beyond the voices? It's a struggle many can relate to, and it's not just about figuring out which voice is right. The real challenge is to uncover the space within that isn't attached to either voice. That space, the one that observes the conflict without getting involved, is where the answers lie. Each thought you have is like an energetic entity, drawing you in, trying to make you identify with it. Some thoughts stay with you for a long time, shifting and changing. They want your attention, to grow stronger, to make you believe they're the truth. But here's the secret. You are not the voice. You are the awareness that recognizes the voices. When you become aware of this space of presence, the voices no longer control you. They're just thoughts, not facts. Whether something works out or not is irrelevant in this moment. What truly matters is disidentifying from these voices and staying present. In that stillness, the noise fades, and a deeper understanding can emerge. When opposing voices flood the mind, especially when determining whether or not something will work out, it's easy to become lost in the turmoil. Two opposing voices are adamant that it will be successful. However, neither of those voices comes close to knowing the truth. They act as if they do. Their influence wanes the moment it becomes clear they aren't knowledgeable. Like others around you who express their thoughts without knowing the consequence, they become like background noise. Visualize the two voices as individuals standing side by side, one on each side of you. The first person says, "It won't work," and the second person says, "It will work." Both of them are speculating, but they have no idea what the future holds. Saying things like, "I don't need to listen to this," would be much easier if these voices were real individuals standing next to you. These assumptions are unnecessary. There would then be an emphasis on the here and now, the only thing on which one can depend. This place has all the solutions to life's questions. Both the voices of assurance and doubt are silenced when one's attention is fixed on the present moment. Despite the fact that there is no certainty in the here and now, everything is going according to plan. There will always be just what is needed at the right time, no matter what. No matter what you're doing, whether it's starting a new relationship, switching careers, or dealing with any other unknown, the result will be meaningful, even if it doesn't match your expectations. Because we learn something valuable from every experience, good and bad, there is no such thing as failure in life. Change is a key lesson. Understanding is imparted. Mistakes are opportunities for growth since they teach us something. Even when our plans go through, a wrong path does not exist. There is a consequence for each action and choice. A deeper understanding of oneself is a byproduct of the process, which includes making mistakes. If you've ever wondered what you should do with your life, you know how overwhelming it can be to try to sort through all the options. The paralyzing questions: should I go this way? How about I go that route? What if I make the incorrect decision? These questions come up when one's thoughts are racing through possibilities, but dwelling on these thoughts indefinitely will never lead to a solution. Instead of trying to solve the situation mentally, you should focus on being fully present. Constantly mulling about possibilities does not lead to the solution. You'll find it when you tune out the mental chatter and focus on the here and now. When a distinct idea with conviction and vitality forms, one that stands out from the crowd, clarity begins to break through. When it happens, the fog of confusion lifts and clarity sets in. After that, contemplation and analysis go away, and a calm understanding takes hold. At one point, a powerful, unexpected emotion emerged. Getting out was obviously the best choice. No one was arguing with themselves. Nobody was hesitating. It wasn't just your brain weighing the benefits and drawbacks. There was a rock-solid understanding that couldn't be overridden. The idea did not originate in mental circling, but rather in being fully present. Rather than being a voice of doubt or assurance, this space of awareness is the place of knowing the deeper truth that is beyond mind. Being fully present in the here and now, rather than connecting with any of one's internal monologues, is the source of this insight. The more one buys into the ideas, the more confused they get. However, serenity and understanding come about as the emphasis moves to the awareness underlying the thoughts. Then, the most important thing to ask is, who am I? Who among us can hear the voices? To gain clarity, one must be conscious of this. You can go to a more profound level of comprehension once you realize that you are not the voice of uncertainty or assurance, but rather the awareness that lies beneath those voices. At least the voices aren't bothersome here. Those people may be seen for what they really are. Voices. You are not like them. You are the consciousness that hears these cries. The wisest course of action to take when faced with confusion is to accept that there is no answer within one's own thinking. Thoughts will persist in attempting a solution, but peace and quiet hold the key. Therefore, focus on the body's energy rather than the racing thoughts. Center yourself on your own energy field. When one becomes more attuned to their body's energy, they start to tune out the mental chatter. When you break the habit of negative self-talk, you set your mind free. Ignoring or dismissing one's own thoughts is not the point here. It's about realizing that ideas are only energies in motion, not reality. A lot of people are really anxious about what's going to happen next. Quick solutions are required. Wanting assurance is entirely natural, so I totally get it. True serenity, however, arises from embracing the unknown on a more fundamental level. The being dimension is this. Living in the now, not worrying about the future, is the key. Of course, there are instances when, on a more pragmatic level, problems need to be resolved. We need to make some decisions. On the other hand, there is a more fundamental reality. No rational solution can bring about genuine contentment. The being dimension provides a more profound wisdom, yet the doing dimension is often essential. Being oneself is where one finds wisdom, genuine wisdom, not in exerting one's mind. Therefore, make a deliberate decision not to listen to the voices of certainty and doubt when they reappear. Turn your focus inward instead. Focus on the vitality of the body. This calms the mind and puts an end to the continual racing thoughts. It's an effective, though straightforward method. As one's level of consciousness rises, the constant chatter of the mind gradually fades away, and the more one practices being present, the more it becomes obvious. Life isn't about having all the answers. The key is to live in the now. Accept that you don't know everything, and let wisdom come to you as you go along. The path to enlightenment begins here. Maintaining a human level of operation is crucial. You cognitively interact with the world at this stage by analyzing events and solving problems. This is the space where most of our work and everyday activities take place. Nevertheless, there is another realm that demands your attention. This realm is equally important to your existence. It's the dimension of being, the innermost, most profound level, and mental computations won't get you far. Contrary to popular belief, its primary function is to encourage the release of mental tension. For the human self, the one who has become identified with and defined by thought, this is the point of contention. The prospect of not having all the answers all the time is daunting to a lot of people. The mind is afraid that life will come to a crashing halt if it stops thinking, since it thrives on continual analysis and concern. Things will fall apart, it thinks, unless you keep your mind active. No matter how late it gets, Your mind won't let you sleep because it's too preoccupied with issues that haven't been resolved. At the core of my being is the belief that everything will fall apart if I let my troubles go unchecked. On the other hand, the ironic reality is reversed. You bring needless chaos into your life when you worry all the time and try to sort things out. Most people's misery stems from internal narratives they construct about external events rather than those events themselves. The ancient thinkers had this figured out thousands of years ago. This is not an original finding. Many of the hardships we endure are the result of the narratives we tell ourselves, our interpretations, and our judgments. Usually the scenario is unremarkable. Meaning is constructed by the mind, and suffering follows with that meaning. Here we see the two sides of being human at work. One side of you is the human dimension, which includes your reasoning abilities, problem-solving capacities, and sensing abilities. But then there's the being dimension, which is your immutable, unchanging, and here-and-now self. Analysis and problem-solving are not the focus of this dimension. It's the realm of unadulterated consciousness. You must find a way to harmonize these two aspects of yourself, as they exist simultaneously. Disengaging from inner monologue is the first and most important step in overcoming obstacles. It is not necessary for you to understand anything. Indeed, the very process of contemplating a solution to silence your inner monologue gives rise to more noise. No matter how hard you try to shut it out, your mind will always be there, offering suggestions and diverting your attention. But there is an easy and effective step you can do. Train yourself to notice when you're thinking about such things. You must realize that you are not obligated to respond to the voices whenever they reappear. I don't need this. That's all it takes, a simple awareness. This is not what I desire, in particular when it's dark and quiet outside. After all, why stress out about anything when there's no sound? There is no advantage. Doing so accomplishes nothing. In fact, it does damage. You just make up your mind and say, "I'm out of here." The following stage is to divert your attention from the mind and direct it towards something else. Pay close attention to your hands as a beginning point. Get a sense of the vitality in your palms. Put your mind at ease and simply experience it. Pay attention to how your hands feel as you hold them. Focus on your arms and body next. You'll start to feel more energized after a while. Spending time doing this is much more enjoyable than being mired in a never-ending cycle of ideas. An anchor that pulls you away from the mind, this aliveness grows stronger the more you connect with it. An extraordinary thing occurs when you tune into your body's vitality. You can practically feel each and every one of your cells integrating into your awareness. When you come into full consciousness, your whole body participates, not just your mind. When presence emerges, the body is completely absorbed in it. This is consciousness, the sensation of being, and it permeates your entire being, not just your mind. No longer are you bewildered by ideas, rather, you are completely absorbed in the vibrancy of the here and now. This will be novel for you at first, and you could find that your mind wanders. The mind will attempt to re-enter after a couple of minutes. Suddenly, a concept may cross your mind, urging you to take immediate action or find a solution. At this point, you must identify the idea for what it is and then release it. Refrain from resisting the idea, stay away from it. Refusing to acknowledge it will lead to greater opposition. Rather, think of it as a fleeting cloud in the sky. Although the clouds may pass by, you, like the sky, are unmoved. Not every cloud needs to be followed. Paying closer attention to the sky makes the clouds less noticeable. If you want to know how powerful thoughts are, just look up. You are the sky. Negativity tends to predominate in the mind-made self-concept. Real freedom comes from waking up to your true self, which is distinct from your ideas, your anxieties, and your past. Your circumstances and history do not determine you. Beyond all of that, there is consciousness, and that is you. This insight is the key that unlocks the door to liberation from mental constraints and the profound calm of presence. The choice to watch this video was likely based on your desire to grow as a person and live in the now. A more fundamental awareness led to this choice. Therefore, I urge you to subscribe to this channel so you can continue your quest for self-discovery with the help of the new videos we release every day. As soon as you understand the gravity of this warning, please respond by writing "Now." Working together, we can complete this.